Every time I go to Costco, I always look at the gaming PCs they have. But this time I ended up buying one because when I looked up how much would it cost me to build this exact gaming PC, I found out that it would cost me $200 more to build this gaming PC than buying it pre-built from Costco. So I bought it and we're gonna unbox it together and see if it's a good deal. And this gaming PC only costs $950. Let's open it up. We get an included RGB keyboard. First really good sign, that PC is packed really well right here. There's a ton of foam on each side, on the bottom and on the top. Oh wait. We also get an RGB mouse. Of course it's upside down. Honestly, so far, I'm extremely impressed with how packed this gaming PC was. And this is pretty cool because they put a sticker covering the AIO of the motherboard. That way that you know that your HDMI or DisplayPort has got to plug into the graphics card instead of the motherboard. Anyway, that's just a minor thing that's actually pretty cool. Sweet. Wow. They actually packed this thing very, very nicely. They put expanding foam in here to protect the GPU from breaking or sagging or any of that stuff to hold the GPU. So it was holding the GPU like this. This is a very, very good touch, especially for the PC that's coming from Costco. All right, first look. Man, CyberPower has stepped up their game, dude. Everything seems to be plugged in all the way. All the cable headers, all the power cables, USB cables, fan cables, everything is plugged in all the way tightly, so you're not gonna be having any issues when you turn this thing on. Everything should be connected very well. We'll check the back in a second to make sure it is. And this is actually a really nice GPU. This is the 8 gig 5060, but the model that they put in here is the MSI RTX. I don't know what, I want to say Ventus or a 2-card, but it's like a silver bronze look to it and it actually looks really cool. They also have their own CPU cooler. This is the air cooler from CyberPower, and I think it has ARGB. It looks really, really nice. The design layout of the fan, how it's just, you know, one piece. It's not looking like gimmicky. This is not what I would expect from this cheap of a PC or from CyberPower in general. I haven't looked at any of their PC games in a long time, but this cooler is definitely a nice touch. I'm quite aware it's like 25 bucks to switch this cooler out, but it's pretty good. Now, right off the bat, even though this is a CyberPower PC, this case is a Phanteks case, which is also a really good brand, and the fans that they put on here are Phanteks as well. So both of those things are really good. Now, just because everything looks okay in the front, we got to check the back to make sure it's all plugged in and that all of the connections are all good to go. We got to make sure to check the back. Okay, cable management is on point, ladies and gentlemen. Not what I expected, but that is good. But yeah, everything seems to be plugged in. I don't see any loose cables. I don't see any loose cables with the motherboard. Yeah, okay. All fans cables, all SATA cables are plugged in. I see no problems. So that is good. And they also have all the cables included in the power supply that you get, because this is a non-modular power supply. So all the cables you're going to need in the future to upgrade are going to be in there preset with the case. But yeah, this is kind of surprising that the back is also as clean as the front. So it's all plugged in. Everything is good to go. Let's cover the specs, see what you're getting with this PC. This PC costs $950. It was on sale from $1,100 to $950. It's still on sale right now as I'm reviewing this PC. So you can go buy it yourself for $950. But spec wise, here's what you're getting here. Okay, spec wise, starting with the CPU, we're going to be getting the Intel Core Ultra 5 225F CPU, which is a pretty decent CPU for budget entry level. With that, you're going to be getting a motherboard that supports it. Let me see what motherboard this is. Once I find the model number, where are you, buddy? It's the Asus B860M Max Gaming motherboard, not the highest end motherboard in the world, but also not the worst motherboard in the world. So it's decent. It will handle the CPU and RAM, everything just fine. For the graphics card, you're going to be getting the MSI RTX 5060 8 gig VRAM. So GPU wise, obviously not the best GPU but at this price range, the 5060 is what you're going to be getting, unless you go with the 9060 XT 16 gig, which is what I'd recommend, but they don't sell those in pre-built. So this is as good as it's going to get. For RAM, we're going to be getting 32 gigs of DDR5, which is not what I would expect. I would think like 16 gigs what they're all going to give you, but 32 gigs of DDR5 running at 5600 mega transfers per second. And for storage, you get 2 terabytes of M.2 SSD. And this one is actually the Spatium MSI one. So it's a pretty decent SSD, but 2 terabytes is also a plus point. And for the power supply, I have no idea what the power supply is in here. There's no branding. I'm assuming it's whatever CyberPower PC came up with some affiliate. So maybe it's like 700 watt or 500 watt, but either way, not the craziest power supply. And then we also have this Fantex case that is pretty nice and really good quality. It's a double glass panel one that looks pretty good. It's got this popular design where you get 2 glass panels that looks really good. And also you get the fans that we talked about earlier. So you get 4 fans, and then you get the CPU cooler that's pretty quite decent. So that is it pretty much for the specs. Nothing crazy. It's a pretty good build. It's very well balanced. But the biggest reason why I even bought this PC in the first place is because when I put all of these specs in there, honestly, the best price I was able to get is around $1,100 or $1,200 before you even buy Windows. So I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, so you can buy this pre-built, you don't get to choose your parts, but you save $250 and it's already built for you and it comes with warranty. So I'm like, okay, this seems like way too good of a deal. I don't know what Costco did to get Cyberpower to cut the price of this PC down to $950, but that's what I paid for it. And here we go. Now let's plug this PC in, do some stress testing, see what kind of temperatures we get, and most importantly, we're gonna run a couple games on this bad boy and see what kind of FPS this $950 gaming PC can get us. Before we actually turn on this PC, there's a few more things that they give you. This is basically a quick guide on how to start. Important to read this. They're basically telling you how to do everything that I just showed you how to do, take the things apart, make sure all the cables are plugged in before you turn it on, where to plug in the cables. That is pretty much like a starter pamphlet on how to set up your PC, and they give you their contact information so you can call them if there's any problems. So customer service will help you out with that. And the last 2 things that you get is the power cable to plug into your power supply, and you get your Wi-Fi antenna. Make sure you don't lose this. You need to plug this into the back of the motherboard so you can utilize your Wi-Fi at its best. But that's pretty much it. Let's set it up. All right, guys, we have the PC turned on and this thing looks really good. For a pre-built gaming PC, this PC is super clean. The RGB around the lines and the fans and everything is just in sync. Yeah, I personally like how it looks, especially in this case. In my opinion, it looks super clean. You do get a button at the top that you can change the RGB with, change the mode and change the color. Like pressing it right now, I'm changing the mode. We've got all the updates installed, all the software that we need for testing installed, and all the games installed. Let's start by stress testing the CPU via Cinebench, see if it scores what we expect it to score and see what the temperatures get up to, and hopefully it's all good. And this right here is the mouse and keyboard that you get with it. You get a full-size keyboard that's RGB and a mouse that has RGB. Honestly, the mouse quality is pretty decent. It is heavy, but that's fine, and it's wired. But I mean, if you don't want to go buying a mouse, this is actually not that bad of an option. The keyboard though is like membrane and it's full size. It's very heavy and it's very large on the desk, but you get a free keyboard, so I guess that's a plus. But I personally don't like using this keyboard. I'm only going to be using it for this video just because it came with the PC. But unfortunately, for changing the RGB, you're only going to have to use the case. I tried setting up the Armory Crate software for this motherboard because it does have an ARGB header down there, but unfortunately they haven't plugged any of the fans or any of the RGB situation into that header. Okay, for stress test, let's run Cinebench 2024 and see what we get, and keep an eye on the temperature, which I'm a little bit worried about. Cinebench is running, and let's see what happens. Is it running? It looks like it's about to running. All right, Cinebench is running. The fan speeds have ramped up. It's not very loud at all, which is surprising. CPU temperature is hovering around 55 degrees, 56 degrees, which is really good. That CPU cooler must be actually good. Okay, the Cinebench test just finished and we got a score of 886, which is what we expect for this CPU. So that is good. That means everything's tuned as it's supposed to be. Okay, first game we got Fortnite. I just let the game set the settings to whatever thinks it's best, and we are playing a TSR medium, and all settings are high and epic. We're at 1440p with DirectX 12. Let's boot up into a game and see the FPS. Okay, we are in the battle bus and we are hitting 190, 200 FPS. What? This PC is running. And we got the GPU temperature at 68, 70 degrees, which is not bad. It's actually better than I expected it to be. This keyboard's awful though. Okay, we got a shotty. Okay, on the ground, we are getting 170 FPS, 180 FPS. Get a kill. Oh, we got a kill. Next, we have Cyberpunk 2077. This game is extremely demanding on graphics card, especially graphics card with only 8 gigs of VRAM. So let's see what kind of FPS we can get. Okay, we are 110 FPS. What settings do I have this thing on? I mean, the game looks good. Okay, let's see what we're looking at here. DLSS super resolution, ray tracing is set to low. Everything else is on high and ultra. Wow, and it's running just fine, which is crazy. The game looks really good for that. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now we're in Marvel Rivals and we have the settings with DLSS turned on to medium to high, and DLSS is set to quality. We are getting 150 FPS, 160 FPS, and the game looks really good. 180 FPS sometimes. So yeah, depends on where you are in the map. You're getting different kind of FPS. Let's get in combat and see how it holds up. All right. GPU temperatures at 75 degrees. Yeah, combat, we're still 145 degrees, 140 FPS, 150 FPS. So, okay, Marvel Rivals has also been demolished by this gaming PC. Everything's been running almost triple-digit FPS, some of it 200 FPS. So yeah, it can handle AAA games and no problem at all, actually. Okay, that is pretty much everything I wanted to test it on this gaming PC that I bought from Costco. Again, I paid $950 for this CyberPowerpc. You'd be saving money buying a pre-built, which I never thought I would say, but this is actually a pretty decent deal if you don't know how to build a PC and if you want to save money. This is not a bad deal. If you're at your own Costco or if you go online and if you find this PC around $1,000, it's actually a pretty good, decent deal for a pre-built. And I cannot believe I'm even saying that because I always recommend for people to build their own PCs. So I guess pre-builts are okay sometimes and that's fine. But yeah, honestly, I have not much complaints. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it if you've made it this far. Make sure you guys subscribe and like this video. It helps me way more than you can think that it does. But I will stop talking and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.